everyone in this room to picture their favorite pet, either one that is at home right now or one from the past. Now, I want you to imagine them chained up, locked up in a dark laboratory, trembling and awaiting to be used for animal testing any second. According to the U.S. National Library of Medicine, product testing is only illegal in 3 states. 3 states. That means 47 states are allowed to abuse, neglect, or in even some instances, kill an innocent creature at the expense of any normal household product that we may use every day. Now that we know a few statistics on animal testing, let's begin with researching what is actually done when testing a product on animals. Afterwards, we will go into the actual effectiveness of this data collection, and finally, we will discuss some of the replacement techniques that do exist today so that you can decide for yourself if animal testing should be illegal or is even required. Every year, according to the ethical and scientific considerations regarding animal testing, 100 million animals are used worldwide. And if that statistic is not alarming, the journal also admits that less than half of that amount make it out alive. My first point is to talk about what goes on in those dark laboratories where those millions of animals are put in cells and treated no different than prisoners as they await their turn. According to PETA, a nonprofit organization that works mainly for animal rights among the nation, not only are mice and monkeys used to test for products. Animals in your backyard today, like cats, dogs, and any domestic animal, are also confined to those treatments. The animals are to test the products before humans can actually use them. So what happens when the products are not safe? According to the Journal of the Royal Society of Medicine on Medical Progress, the animals that are being tested are often forced to inhale toxic fumes, held down, and shaven to have a product tested on their bare skin. And in extreme measures, scientists are actually allowed to drill a hole in their skull or stomach to monitor the product and how it affects their brain or digestive system. It is then why organizations like PETA step in as they monitor these atrocities that are being done every day and explain their effects. According to PETA, 9 out of 10 animals tested are actually affected gravely. The animals suffer many atrocities, including brain damage, unstoppable seizures, and a fear of any human contact, which leads them to be euthanized. Although all these facts are extremely shocking, the fact that these products are sitting in a lot of our homes only reveals how much we have become unaware of these big problems. For example, I brought an example so we could see how real this problem is. Dawn soap that I have here is found in at least 4 of the 5 homes that you have searched, and maybe some of us know it today. The company is said to be biodegradable and cruelty-free, but according to many journals, and especially the U.S. National Library of Medicine and PETA, this product is actually tested on wild animals every day. They do so by pouring it in the eyes and forcing the animals to keep it under restraints until they can make sure it will not irritate their eyes. Despite all the warm commercials that Dawn has actually put out about wildlife conservation, their products do not sponsor animal safety. They actually use them at the abuse of millions of animals, which you do not know about today. In a life survey that PETA let out just last year, 80% of participants were not aware of animal testing in their very own Dawn products at home. That is one of the biggest points when we are discussing animal testing. Many individuals are simply not aware of the products that they are using and the ones that are responsible for the mistreatment of many animals. That brings us to my next point, which covers why animal testing is not cruel, but also ineffective. As the Alternatives to Animal Testing journal explains from the pharmaceutical website, humans differ very greatly biologically than animals. This means testing on animals is not an actual valid representation on what product toxicity levels are. In simple terms, it is like saying an outfit of a different size will fit exactly like the one of the proper size. The animal body reacts very different than the human one. It is no surprise that the Ethical and Scientific Consideration Journal on Animal Testing found that over 85% of tests. The Animal Journal found out that over 85 different vaccines to treat HIV in monkeys, actually 0 of them worked for humans. This is one of the great examples of why animal data collection is not effective for human health research. How many monkeys were held down to receive those 85 shots that were successful? How many of them were thrown in their cages after? In accordance with PETA, millions of animals have to endure eternal pain for products such as Dawn that we just explained, or smaller household products that we have in our counters. We are not aware at what cost do we purchase these products, as the labels claim to be cruelty-free or even biodegradable. I dare you to watch the heartbreaking videos which accidentally get exposed on YouTube, social media, Facebook, or the news, but do not last long, where animals scream for their life in hopes of surviving everything the scientists comes up with. My next and last point, which is the most important, will cover how we can stop this injustice. There are many other ways product toxicity can be actually tested. According to the Alternatives to Animal Testing journal, cell cultures, computer models, and new imaging techniques are providing the opportunity to study the cellular response, and they are obtained through the simple swab of the cheek, or for example, even a click on the computer. So why are companies using these methods, you ask? It's for the same reason why animal testing began. It is cheaper to keep millions of animals in cages and reproduce them while at the same time killing them, versus spending hundreds and millions on equipment and employees who actually can speak for themselves. The article on alternative methods explains how taking cell cultures and testing the product on actual human cells yield actually accurate results higher than animal subjects could ever. The only existing downside of this could be that a culture takes longer to grow versus the testing on live animals, which is done in an instant. But if the results are more accurate and no animals are harmed, why is there a rush? In conclusion, I want you to picture that favorite pet of yours again. And I want you to imagine them again in one of these product laboratories, getting her in a cage or him. Are they safe? Or are they screaming, confined to that prison cell, confused as these companies do to millions of animals a day? Your pet may be safe today, but if we do not do something, what about tomorrow? So let's choose to be aware of the issue, therefore. We understand what we're buying, but do we understand at what cost? These companies are slaughtering millions of animals every day. They are doing so while we are using their products right at home. Just as technology is advancing, so is the methods of product testing where lives can be actually saved. Animal testing is wrong, and just because you are not physically harming those animals yourself doesn't mean there isn't a problem. When we buy these products, we are funding these atrocities by not being aware. So I challenge all of you today to be aware. There's organizations like PETA, as we mentioned during this speech, where you can visit the website and learn how you can help today. Because ultimately, you and I are the voice for those who cannot speak. So, my biggest question, will you speak for those who can only scream, and their screams are muffled by the closing of a loud door? Thank you.